All right, so the majors coming up is going to be the first tournament, which is big, which is at LAN, which is with a crowd since ESL Pro League of 2019, like long time. And so it's been almost 2 years. Over 2 years. I'm pretty sure actually. It's been over 2 years since ESL Pro League because I mean, there was Epicenter 2019, which was with a crowd which featured some top teams, but not all the top teams. ESL Pro League featured all the top teams of the time, and there hasn't been something like that because Katowice obviously had no crowd. And if you think of the other tournaments in 2020, there was GG Bet, which only featured Navi and Mouse as the good teams, I'm pretty sure. There were the Blast groups, but that wasn't playoffs. Like, the teams going in weren't thinking, this is the big event, this is what I'm aiming to win. They were like, okay, I just need to get through this. And even then, it didn't feature, uh, Fnatic, Mouse Sports, which were very good teams at the time. So very long time coming, very high for the major, and I wanted to do some content around it. So rather than ranking the teams from 1 to 24 or something, I figured I'd do it like on a line, so on like on a spectrum. And the first team, the favorites for me, I even favored them against the field. I think they have an over 50% chance to win the tournament. I think they're lifting that trophy. I think it's Navi. But I am a delusional Navi fanboy, so do bear that in mind. So we'll have Navi here, put them right towards the end. I mean, do I need to justify myself? Simple, best player to ever touch CSGO. Electronic, proven top 5 player. Bit, future top 5 player. Perfecto, very cool, very calm under pressure. He actually hasn't played on Bit as well, obviously. Haven't played against or among a crowd, like on a very big stage, in front of a crowd. Perfecto has played in the GG Bet Invitational and in Blast groups, but none of these are big tournaments, right? Obviously, Blast groups is a fairly big tournament, but you know, it's not playoffs. It doesn't hit the same way. I'm pretty well. I've never been a player, so I wouldn't know. But and then you have Boomage, um, who I had my doubts around him before Cologne because I was thinking, oh, Blade's just gonna do all the in-game leading online. Now when they're going on LAN, is Boomer gonna be able to hold up? And he actually did. So Navi can play on LAN without like Blade calling everything. So that's the first point. Very stacked lineup. I'll actually pull up a graphic in a second. Um, Simple is just the type of player that can put the team on the back, just carry them to the major, get the major. He has the establishment behind him. And the field right now is very like shaky, I would say. So let's pull up a graphic real quick here, and I just want to show you something that is. So this is a graphic here of all the teams, and the blue bars represent. This says average maps played per player. It should say average rounds. But these are for every team. I have compiled the average number of rounds which they have played at big events as classified by HOTV. So the most recent three are Cologne, Katowice, and then before that was Epicenter. So um, very limited, only the top tier of events. Uh, and if we look, Astralis have the most, then FaZe, then Liquid. Nib, Vitality, Navi are actually not that high up. There's quite a few teams. I figured they would be in like the top three Navi, but they're actually not. And I can show you actually by player how this looks if you're curious. But you can see here one anomaly is Navi's rating. They have so many good players that have like a very good historic rating, almost 1.2 for each player. That's how nutty simple is. Um, so yeah, obviously a player like Bit has a very low sample size, only one tournament. Perfecto as well has only two tournaments. So this is a bit of a misleading graphic, or it can be, but I think honestly that um, Bit is somebody who can keep up that kind of a rating at the rate he's going. And if we look here, we have all the players by teams, how many maps they've played. And if we look at Simple, for example, like where he would rank, um, where is he? Oh, I know how to find him. Give me a sec. All right, let's do ratings. This should be simple, right? Oh no, that's Yakinda. Interesting. Where would simple be? Here? Oh yeah, that's simple. Okay, so he has about what, a bit more than 10,000. So let's see how he ranks. So is that simple here somewhere? Yeah. So there he is. He's actually, I expect him to be one of the most ranked, but there's actually quite a few players who are more experienced than him. Um, but yeah, electronics also pretty far up. And then when you go to the next, I can't see Boomich, but he doesn't have nearly as much as electronic, of course. So three of the players actually haven't played at that many big events. So when you say now if you're experienced, that's actually a kink or a chink in their armor. What's it called? Um, where they're not quite as experienced as people sometimes make them out to be. But despite that, I think Navi have all the quality there, and they should be winning the major. I give them another 50% chance to win it. So they are a heavy favorite for me. All right, next up, I think the second best team this tournament is actually Vitality. They've shown very good form in ESL Pro League, where they reached the final, contended Navi for the Grand Slam. Um, Obviously, a lot of their players, Zaiwu, Apex, Shocks, Lamp Proven, played a lot of lands. Uh, you saw in the graphic they were actually ranked third among the teams. Or, oh no, they're fifth, sorry. So, yeah, they have two youngsters. Of course, they're not going to be that high up. But they're still one of the leading teams in terms of experience. Um, you know, Uh, as I said, they found a lot of form. A player like Zaiwu is just exceptional. It's very hard to lose when you have Zaiwu on your team. So I favor Vitality to make at least top four. They found very good form. Shocks and Apex on the like Shocks especially is especially somebody who doesn't get affected by the pressure. He thrives in the pressure. So you're gonna see someone like him have a very good event. I predict. Obviously, Zaibu's gonna have a very solid event. Um, Things have been clicking. Extas has been working absolute magic. But the one criticism I could have towards this team is, firstly, I can't be 100% sure they'll find the form they have as of late. And in IEM4, they finished third, so they did fairly well. But you can't really count the late matches, I think, because there's not going to be that much pressure. There's not going to be that much desire, sort of. Once you've qualified, what more can you do? Once you've qualified Hell as a legend, what more is there to play for? But one chink I have, one doubt I have around them is how much of a factor Extas has been in terms of calling and everything, and we'll have to wait and see at the major how they will perform, how good Apex can do without the help of somebody like Extas. So I have them here. And how far away are they from Navi? I'd say considerably far, like probably around here somewhere. Um, and in third place, I actually have Astralis. This might surprise some people, might make some people angry, might make some people close out the video right away. But Astralis have 15 majors in between them. They have four of the five best players to ever. Sorry, they have 80% of the best lineup in CS:GO history ever, right? Um, they know how to perform at the big pressure. If we go back to the graphic I just showed you a second ago, who's first? It's Astralis. And among FaZe and Liquid, they have way more big events played. That means way more experience playing in front of a crowd. Um, you know, this LAN event is not going to be like anything else before. And I think that will have a massive say. People need to think back to what they saw in ESL Pro League groups where like Navi couldn't get out online, but they would be one of the best teams in the world. Virtus Pro couldn't get out online, but they would be one of the best teams in the world. You know, people need to sort of extricate themselves from this online play. It's a completely different game on stage, and we're going to see this heavily, I think, um, with Astralis. Now, my doubt around them is around Glaive. Like, what will his morale be like? What will his dedication be like with a newborn child that he has to leave? How will he be feeling? How much time will he be putting into the game? That's a concern I must have. And the second is obviously they did very well when they had you know They did very well at Cologne when they didn't have device. So they've proven that they can do it without device. But they've never done it with Lucky. I'm pretty sure they played with Bubsky there, but I might be wrong. Um, and yeah, now that Glaive has an AWPer that he can slot in, he can adapt the system where the AWPer is not central. Device played very passive and he was a very smart AWPer. That's not something that Lucky can be. He can't play the same way that Device did. But, he doesn't have to be the focal point on the team when you have players like Magisk and Dupree who can frag out, and when you have a player like Zipnix who the moment it's LAN, Zipnix is a completely another player. And I think Astralis, I'm even doubting putting them in front of Vitality, honestly. But, I think Vitality are going to come in with good form. And if they're with good form, like Vitality, I think have a better skill ceiling. But you can say that Astralis in top-notch form are better than Vitality. So I might actually even put Astralis above Vitality here. I just think Astralis is so good right now. And if we go back to the graphic, uh, just quickly, I think you might guess which my fourth team is. And it might sound crazy to you, but I am actually putting them as my fourth team. So um, you might be wondering, who is it? Liquid or FaZe? It must be Liquid, right? There's no way you're going with FaZe here. There is absolutely no way you could ever say FaZe are the fourth best team in this tournament. Impossible. You'd be crazy, but I'm gonna go in and do it because I think they are. So, all right, I am full. They had something to play for. They had to make the major. They barely did. Last place team, lowest ranked team. They lost their games. They had to rely on other results to make it in. Actually, I don't know if they're the lowest ranked team. I think that might be uh, even outside of Europe. Are they lower than? Yeah, they are lower than Copenhagen Flames. They're the lowest ranked European team. Um, how can you be saying that they're the fourth best team in this tournament? Well, firstly, the groups were played from a studio environment, right? Full copium here. All right, guys, bear with me. Played from a studio environment where or sorry, from a boot camp environment where every team were in their rooms in the boot camp. That is not the same as going into a studio. Even that's not the same as playing in front of a crowd, right? Obviously, we won't play to a crowd in front of a crowd until the playoffs. Um, but I actually think FaZe have a very very solid chance of getting to playoffs. But firstly, there was that in group. Secondly, best of ones were played, right? So I'm talking about only in the groups here. They were playing from booth camps. They were playing best of ones. Um, you know, you can get upset on a best of one. Now, when they went to the studio and played the playoffs, or 9th to 12th matches, they won both of them, and they were very good. From what I saw, they were very, very good. At Cologne, they had a very good run as well. Obviously, that was no, that was with Olaf Meister, I'm pretty sure. Um, they have a lot of experience as well. I think FaZe are gonna surprise and shock a lot of people. FaZe are the fourth best team in this tournament. I think it's a very weak field. Uh, that has to be said. But I think FaZe behind Vitality and Astralis a little bit. I'd put them like here. And but yeah, do I need to sell them to you? Twists, Brokey, Rain. Rain. Remember how Rain played at Cologne, the other LAN tournament. How he played. Did he play exceptionally on Dust 2? I remember one game where he was just headshotting everyone. That was just like insane levels Rain, like top like peak form Rain. Like we can get that here. They have Olaf Meister, who's a veteran player. The pressure won't get to him. He's like can be support. He can take over a game. You're talking about Olaf Meister here, man. He might be old, but he knows what he's doing. Even if he's not fragging out everyone, he is one of the most useful glue players you can have for a team. Someone who knows Carrigan's system, who's played with him for a long time, had immense success with him for a long time. I think people are sleeping on FaZe. Alright, fifth best team for me here is going to be. You can trust the graphic again, because I am saying. I don't know if I should say Liquid, man. I was gonna say Liquid, but then the whole Adren thing happened. But I don't know how much of a factor Adren is. I I'm gonna say Liquid. I'm going with Liquid here. They're experienced, they're talented, they have everything going for them, and that's exactly why they're gonna throw it. But I'm trusting Liquid. And I'm actually going to put Liquid nowhere near FaZe. I think they are way weaker than FaZe. I'm gonna put them around here. Uh, and obviously, experience, massive factor for Liquid. Very high skill ceiling in terms of Elige, Naf. Stewie has been so good when he has not IGL'd, and I hope he doesn't IGL here in this tournament. If he IGLs, I am going to melt my own brain. Fallen at Majors, man. He is so good. That SK, MIBR, and Luminosity team between Columbus 2016 and I have to say, even in London 2018, I think they made semi-finals every single time. I'm pretty sure in between those majors. Go check between Columbus and London 2018. What, like 6 majors, 7 majors? They made semi-finals every single time. Top four. Incredible. So Fallen is one of those players who knows what the pressure is. He has played under that pressure, and he thrives in it, man. Very high skill ceiling for him as well. Uh, don't underestimate Fallen. Don't sleep on Fallen. And obviously Grim is gonna be a first tournament for him. So uh, not much I can say about him except that he does need to go up for this team to be successful. Um, all right, who am I picking next? I'm actually, I'm actually gonna go full commit to my graphic and let's see if you can guess who the next team will be. Oh, actually, they're not. Where are they? Why are they not on this? Oh, they're. Okay, so they're actually quite far down. So I'm actually going to go against my graphic. Let's go with them. Maybe they're not the next best team, but I'm going to put them on the graphic anyways. Um, I'm going with Virtus Pro. I just think like, yeah, of course they won because it's big events, not majors. Obviously they had a very good run at the major. Um, I think Virtus Pro are another team where like their players can perform and have shown that they can perform under pressure. CIS teams, like no name CIS teams, just have like this buff at majors. They just do so well. Like Gambit, Virtus Pro. Think of all the upset that you've seen throughout groups where a CIS team just makes it. It's something about those teams, man, where like they're just playing a slightly off meta and they catch the teams by surprise. I think Virtus Pro. Uh, I think they're considerable distance behind Liquid. Obviously, with Flit now, they're even better. So I'll actually put them fairly close to Liquid. I think they're very good. I think they'll make playoffs. Uh, Someone like Yakinda is a concern for me because his peaks are online peaks. Uh, there's just no way around it. But they have so much quality. And actually, I'm talking myself out of Virtus Pro a little bit because Quicker and Kickhurt and Buster uh, are players who did very well and had to do very well when they had all their success. But these days, they're just not that good online. So I'm gonna put them a bit farther down, actually, somewhere like about here. I think they are a whole class below Liquid. So for now, I'm gonna leave them there. Um, who's next? I think next has to be NIP. I've just left them out for too long. Obviously, you saw on the graphic, very experienced team. Uh, they have a lot of quality. Sorry about the sounds, guys. That's my team, not yours. No need to worry. Um, and I don't know. I'm considering putting them ahead of VP here. Uh, NIP, obviously with Device. He knows about performing under pressure, right? Hampers, the right GL, is somebody who has done it under pressure. I'm gonna put them behind VP. Or actually, I don't know if he has performed under pressure. I don't know how long he's been in NIP. Obviously, Res can perform under pressure. Um, Campus, I'm pretty sure he was in those lineups. Plopsky is someone who's played a few big events. But yeah, Hampus just I get that vibe, the same vibe I get from Jame. Both of them don't have that many maps in big tournaments, and Perfecto as well. But they're just calm people. I can tell that they're gonna do well. And obviously that's very non-objective, but what part of this video is, right? So I'm gonna put them behind VP. I don't have that much belief in them. Device is not simple as Ibu where they can put the entire team on their back. Um, They're just a player who plays well within the system. Uh, and at this point, we do have to consider the onliners. So let's start with Gambit. I think they are better than Heroic. Uh, and I might even put Gambit ahead of VP. They might actually be the team that slots in between Gambit and between VP and Liquid. Um, so I'm gonna put them here. I think they didn't do that well at Cologne, which is the other big LAN tournament that we have to go off of. Their players have next to no experience. Only Hobbit has any big event experience. Um, but obviously, what we've seen online is very tantalizing. So they have a very high skill ceiling that they could reach. But there's just no way that both Axile and Shiro play at the same level. Sorry, there's no way that both Axile Shiro play at the same level as they have online, and that Nafani calls at the same level he has online. One of these things is not gonna happen, and honestly, only if one of those links is missing, I think they are not the same team. And maybe if they get both, Axao and Shiro or Axao and Nafani or Shiro and Nafani, if they only get two of them, maybe they are like hell even somewhere here. But I don't think that will happen. I think Gambit will falter and they won't do nearly as well as they have online. All right, the other onliners, Heroic, let's take them. They did even worse than Gambit at Cologne, and that's surprising because I thought they would thrive. With KD how hype he is, all that. Um, but the fact is that they haven't. So I'm actually gonna put them like right here. I think they have a lot of quality on their team, but they're nowhere near, like Nip. I think like Nip you can say that a bunch of their players can do something on LAN. With Heroic, that's just not the case. And I can't just take online results. I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to put like Heroic here. Then I'm actually going to take G2. And I think. Am I willing to put. I think G2 have a better chance even than Heroic, perhaps. I think G2 and Nip are at about the same level, honestly. I just I have this feeling about G2 that they'll actually do very well. Um, Obviously, if you were to map their their highest possible skill ceiling, it will put them around here, and the lowest will put them around here. So they're around in the middle of that. They actually think they're more likely to do bad than well. Uh, but I think that's about where G2 lie. I think that's not too crazy to give them that kind of a position. Next up, we have Furia. I think uh, the I don't know if they're the next best team, but it is the team I'm gonna talk about. So let's just get done with the legends. So Furia, they're playing with Drop, but the four other players are players who have played at some big events, and they are the type of team that can just catch you by surprise in the major. Similar to CIS, I feel like Brazil is the kind of region that can just pull something miraculous out at the major, as Luminosity have shown, for example. I just think they have this aura around them where they're just like such an unknown quantity. You really can't predict what will happen with them. Um, so I think if we're going purely objectively, they should be like here somewhere. But I'm actually gonna put them. Obviously, they're not near heroic. I don't think. I'm gonna put them like here or something. Let's make them a bit bigger. I'm making all the teams very small. Let's put them like here or something. I feel like maybe even like here. I feel like they are very underrated. And people are not giving them enough credit, as much credit as they should. Next, I'm gonna go for Ents, and I think this team is a team that is being very overhyped. Their players, only Snappy has experience on LAN, right? Even online, they haven't played that many matches, right? They've been a lineup for like 3, 4 months or something. They're just not that proven. At IEM Fall, obviously they did very well. It was LAN, but a lot of the teams didn't have much to play for, right? And obviously, with a second place at a tournament like that is a second place at a tournament. they weren't able to defeat Nip. So most definitely they're behind Nip, and I already have Nip fairly far down. So I'm actually gonna put them ahead of a team like Furia. No, I'm gonna put them behind Furia. I think I think they're on the same level where like I think Furia have a much higher skill ceiling than Ents, but when you average them out, I think Furia are slightly better, just slightly better than Ents. Ents they'll make it to top 16, and they'll be like a surprise team for someone. They'll go like 2-3, and they'll surprise one of these teams, but they won't make playoffs. I think. I actually want to talk about Godsend here. While we're sort of still vaguely on the Brazil topic, uh, these players, that's Phelps there. He's played a lot of big events. That's Taco there. He has played a lot of big events. And he's someone who's transitioning into the IGL role, getting used to it. And there's the Brazilian factor as well. I'm going to put them actually. I think they might even be better than Furia, uh, if I have to be honest. I kind of want to put them ahead of Furia. I actually have some belief in this Godsend squad. Oh, okay. Just take me back 10 steps then, I guess with Control Z. Love Paint. Let's put them slightly ahead of Furia. Now we've only Spirit. Spirit is someone I've overlooked. I'm actually gonna put them behind Dents. Never mind. I look at the Spirit logo and I think of that team that just had such a high skill ceiling that was so consistent, but they're not the same team anymore. And the funny thing is actually, if we look at if we go and look at players by rating in big events, Dexter is actually the best rated player above Simple and Zaiwu. But actually, if you look at Dexter here, he only has like 50 to 100 maps played or something. I don't remember exactly how many when I made the graphic, but um yeah, so kind of funny. He has played very well at the one big event he has attended. Uh But I just don't see it for Spirit. As of late, they haven't been the same Spirit like that they used to be. Uh, so I'm actually gonna put them like a considerable distance behind even Ents because they have they have the skill ceiling. If Dexter does go off like he did with that rating, obviously. Mir and Chopper are people who have attended land events before, even majors, and I just don't think it's gonna happen. Chopper hasn't been the same player ever since he started IGLing. Then let's talk about Big a little bit, give them some love. And the love that they're getting is I don't see this team is the kind of team where they lose to the better teams and they win against the smaller teams. It's like if I'm ranking teams based on percentage to win, uh they're even behind Spirit because I just don't think they can pull it out. They don't have a God B to be an X Factor at a major to find like an exploit or something, right? They're just not that team anymore. And they have some skilled players in Tapson and all that, and the quality's just gone to trash because paint is so good. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna put them behind Spirit, I think. Mouse Sports is actually a team I may have overlooked because Drops is just such a good player. And they have players like Frozen and BMAS who can also hold their own. Um, Let me actually select just the mouse logo because I don't want those ugly lines. Very scuffed, I know, I know. I'm actually gonna put mouse ports like somewhere around like here, I would say. Maybe just slightly above Godsend, I think. Uh, they have a lot of quality on that team. Varai GL is a big question mark. Uh, but purely off of skill, they can beat a lot of these teams. And Rops and Frozen, very experienced on LAN. All right, who should I pick next? I guess Pain. They have this Brazil factor. Um, I don't know. these are teams which I don't know much about and which I just don't think they have a chance. So let's put them like towards the end here. Entropia, actually, they have some good players, so I'm not gonna completely write them out. I am gonna put them like I think I think they might be better than Spirit Mate. Um, I'm gonna put them like here-ish or something. Movie stars, I don't know. I don't have that much hype for them. They don't have LAN experience. They've got nothing going for them, man. I wish they were better, but they're just not. I'm gonna put them behind. I'm gonna put them on the same sort of threshold or level as FaZe. EG, I, I'm sorry that my boys suck, my fellow Bulgarian, but he has been play. I think he played decently at the NARMR, but the NARMR, man, they only got out because some team overslept. They're a complete shambles. I'm not gonna put them dead last because I think like a team like Tyloo probably goes there. Copenhagen Flames, I think they are massively overrated because of best of ones. Uh, but they're still better than FaZe, so I'll just put them like here or something like that. Uh, Sharks, Brazilian factor, I have to give them something. I think Sharks have a chance of just playing like, very inspired CS, very passionate. Obviously very typical of like the Brazilian scene, and I'm actually gonna even put them ahead of Pain. Like they just have the it factor for me. Tyloo, they have come to a lot of majors. These players actually, let's see how experienced are their players. So if we do this, oops, if we do this, and we look at players. So Tyloo are right at the end. Summer, Attacker, Somebody are the three players who are experienced slowly and danking. So they have three experienced players who have played like three or four big events in their career. So they have a little bit of experience under their belts, but they've never done anything of note. It's just like they're a known quantity at this point. Yes, they come from another meta. Yes, the CS played in Asia is completely different, but it's not different in a good way, I think. So I'm gonna put Tyloo even. Oh, they that bad? Am I putting them behind EG? I think they're somewhere in between, like an EG. I don't want them to be like JPEG quality. If I made them a bit too small, like here, like probably about here or something. And finally, the Aussie boys, Renegades. Um, I think, I think, I think they're about here as well. So yeah, let me do this actually first. Let's clear this away so that I can have a nice little screenshot of the actual line. And I think this is how the major looks to me. I think this is how the teams are spaced out. I think this is who has a chance to win. And Navi are my clear favorites for sure. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the different sort of style. I think basically the teams in which I have actual faith to actually win the tournament are these teams here. And Heroic and G2 I'm very doubtful of. Like if I had to give them a percent, like it would be like 1 or 2%. But these teams, VP with Flit can actually do damage. Gambit can go full online, it's a possibility. NIP with Device, Campus is a very good fragging in-game leader. If he's able to hit that, if the rest of the pieces, Rez and Device, I'm fairly certain about, but Linus and Plopsky, they have to give their piece because Linus is obviously not a great player. They have to put in a good shift. All of these things need to come together. Liquid, I actually they're gonna go far. I feel like without a Dren, it's a bit of hindrance. Which if they had a Dren, by the way, I would put them like right behind FaZe, I think. Like they have been fairly solid, and FaZe are only that high up because the field I feel like is not that great. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.